Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is Just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer is gonna make a video about the skill ceiling of CSGO and how there's a lot of factors screwing with the ceiling, lowering it way too far down, in which means that a couple of people have to, you know, walk around crooked because they can't stand up properly, if that makes any sense. In real life analogy. So quickly about this game, we were all except like 2 people global elite, so it was pretty high level. I was able to hit one really fun jump down this ramp right here, so enjoy watching that. It looked like something Neo did in 1.6. It was just cool, nothing else really. And then I got one lucky headshot, so enjoy that vac bullshit. So anyways, thing with Counter-Strike is that it's a game that have a lot of potential in terms of if you want to explore the limits of how you can implement more factors into the game that thus will allow certain players, if they care to, advance in terms of skill, like raw performance in the game, in which is, you know, done by them as people, in which does then again allow you to become, you know, like better than all the other people. It's not necessarily because you are better, but because maybe you're putting in more time into the game, but also maybe because you, in some scenarios, maybe might actually be better, which I think would be awesome if people actually was able to get to that level in terms of skill. This has actually, by the way, happened especially 2 times in the past. Scream used to be able to manipulate the recoil pretty heavily with the AK-47, ADing and pre-aiming incredibly fast and very, like, you know, very short periods in between or doing so, you know, the frequency 80-80, but you still had to have incredible aim, and you had to have like incredible timing too. It was like, you know, sidestep shooting on fucking steroids. So he had that kind of ability in 2013 for a short amount of time, and then it was patched by Valve as far as I've understood, even though again it makes sense in the end of the day because it seemed a little bit OP in that aspect. Before then we had the bunny hopping, which I hit one bunny hop there in that little fun clip, which is something that allow you to move really fast if you're able to chain them together, and it's essentially completely fucking OP if you actually do it in the game, and thus it's a good thing to not have it to be a part of the game unless you actually do it yourself, even though again I think they're a little bit too random to do, even though again it's completely unrealistic. So apparently that is in bad taste coming from Valve, even though again I think it would be maybe a little bit more fun to have them happen a little bit more frequently, maybe like fucking 3% more often. So anyways, yeah. Next thing we are going to talk about is the AWP that was nerfed. I've not really talked exclusively about it, but I mean, anything that you can really say against it being nerfed is that it's a bad thing, mainly because it lowered the skill ceiling, but also mainly, super mainly, because Kenny S literally was the only person that got properly nerfed or truly nerfed by the AWP not becoming that kind of type of weapon with the level of flexibility that it had in the past when you scoped in and you moved around while being scoped in and stuff like that, which now is not the case anymore. I think it's just fucking stupid because essentially you are just making the game's skill ceiling lower. He was like, him and maybe a couple of the other AWPs, you know, JW and, you know, yeah, I don't know, Guardian. I'm so terrible with names, but you probably get the point. Like, it only mainly had the impact on Kenny S, so it's just very lame that that even had to be done. Valve, what the hell are you doing? It just doesn't make that much sense. Another thing that Valve really need to try and address eventually is just the outright damage of all the pistols too. If we ever want to talk about balance, the pistols are probably the primary example of just bullshit kills that you can get. Even though again it kind of sort of depends on what type of weapon you have and how you're going to approach the enemy, but also how kind of far away you might be from the enemy. Point though is that if somebody buy up completely full and they have like $5,000 worth of equipment in the game, I buy one P250, I rush around a corner, and for some reason maybe he didn't react or aim perfectly well for me rushing at that second, you know, he didn't aim well enough, I can just one-tap him, and I literally invested 300 bucks into nullifying all of his value. Now, a good approach towards this is not even be in the scenario in which you had to be close up to the pistol so that you would get killed. It's the only way to play against pistols that may one-shot headshot you, except for the Desert Eagle, but then again that gun is still too random. But the thing though is that even if it makes sense from a logical perspective related to reality to have the pistols to be strong, because, you know, a pistol up close in reality, that's sort of what they're made for. You can shoot only, you know, selective bullets with limited accuracy over long range, but it's incredibly fucking powerful up close. What you're left behind with is something that just does not really work that well in the game aspect. Even more so when I buy the M4A1 here, I one-tap you, you one-tap me, but only because you bought armor, but you have a pistol, you could kill me instead of me killing you. Even though, again, I've invested so much gear, and the only thing that essentially settled that battle was that I had a different or wrong position. So I would rather promote more intelligent play rather than YOLO bullshit play that essentially just have people fucking jumping around the corner with a Tech 9 and just tapping people, because, you know, it actually promotes skill, a higher skill ceiling, more tactical play. And if you people have any clue about how chess works, the actual kind of, for lack of a better term, ELO performance you can have in tactical games, if you even give them a fucking basis to do that kind of thing, you can become even better at the game. So yeah, just having that foundation be a little bit more solid for Counter-Strike, I think that could help out the game even more in the length, even though, again, Valve apparently fucking hate that because they love to put in bullshit hissifits, like, you know, yeah, in the past you had a couple of insane buffs to the Desert Eagle, the AUG on CT side, but also the Tech 9 and the CC implementation. Both of those were just a fucking farce in that sense. So yeah, Valve have a lot of stuff to do, and with that I figured I should maybe criticize their you know, fucking team that is working on this game, because they seem rather limited. Now, I could be quoting or misquoting Richard Lewis here, but he had mentioned that there's only 7 people working on Counter-Strike Global Offensive. When you think about that, that is fucking insane, but it makes sense then when we take a look at exactly what we're getting in the game. So Counter-Strike is made in a very deviously, incredibly smart way. It's pretty much crowdfunded in the sense that we are getting all the resources that a game is getting, it's coming from the people, but from a different approach too. All the skins are made by the people. What else? The maps are made by the people. So essentially the entire team is just fixing very small bugs, and they're working on one fucking game for multiple years. So in you know, in the 2020 hindsight, that works for the model Counter-Strike is you know, being a thing at, okay? Like, it just makes solid sense. However, in the end of the day, couldn't work be done faster, more efficiently? Couldn't we take a deeper, more proper look into how Counter-Strike is made as a game and maybe edit things or work on things that might be even, you know, might be tuned out even better? I mean, take a look at this last Bloodhound event. What core content did we get other than some extra drops, a couple of collections that may or may not have been made by the Valve guys? I don't even know who the hell get the credit for those skins, and you know, stuff like that. We essentially got a storyline over a couple of missions that was restricted to you having to wait every fucking time if you wanted to even be a little bit early, in which the you know, carrot on the end of the stick was to maybe get a drop, in which in the end of the day could end up being a fucking Scar 20 Sand Dude, or whatever it's called, because the drop system was not even catering towards those actual collections, even though, again, people did get a couple of collections drops from the newest ones. So yeah, all I see is a couple of very weird business choices, and a game with a lot more potential, and choices that should have been taken but was not taken. So yeah, Valve, you should probably get to it. What do you people think? I'm honestly interested. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, you can find out in the description below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, as always. Have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play, people.